Welcome back, guys, gals, and all of our non-binary pals. We are continuing the CCL play-ins, and we have seen some incredible Omega Strikers action already, so I cannot wait to get into some more. I, of course, am Alexander T. Kresek, aka Master Hamster, and joining me is the one, the only, Wayward Soul. Wayward, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Happy to be here.
Love to hear that. Love to have you here. Up next, our matchup is going to be Wake Forest versus RPI. So gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a doozy. We've already seen a little bit of Wake Forest earlier when they were playing on the A stream, but now they're here on the B stream. So let's see if they can continue that momentum. We're gonna go ahead and take a look at these picks and bans. Wayward, what are your initial thoughts and reactions here when we're taking a look at these picks and bans?
Looking at these picks and bans, we see that Wake Forest has chosen Night Market, where, and then RPI has chosen Oni Village. Oni Village is going to be a bit of a slogfest when you get to that, because getting those, you can get that first one easy, but that second barrier is hard to get.
Absolutely. Are you surprised at all by these picks? I know these are basically the maps we've been seeing all day long, but do any of these picks just kind of surprise you at this point?
I'm a little surprised to see Night Market. I haven't seen it yet in the matches I've watched.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of Taiko Temple today. That's been the big one. It's been good. So a little surprised to see Night Market and not a Taiko Temple, but
okay, yeah, no, yeah, I definitely love to hear that. Yeah, we did see Wake Forest on Taiko Temple on that A stream when they were playing earlier, but I will say here on the B stream, we have not seen Taiko Temple yet, so it is kind of interesting, that dichotomy that you haven't seen any Night Market, but you've seen a lot of Taiko Temple, and I, over here on the B stream, have not seen any Taiko Temple, but we have seen Night Market, so kind of fun back and forth here. But again, it's all about team preference, and this time around, it looks like Wake Forest wants to play on that Night Market. Earlier in the day, it wasn't Wake Forest or RPI playing, but we did see a double midfielder composition coming out, as well as a more brawly composition. Wayward, is that kind of something you're going to expect here, especially when looking at these teams, or is there something different that we might expect?
I think with Wake Forest especially, we've seen kind of a more standard forward midfielder matchup. Lately, especially with all the Taiko Temple we've seen double brawler. So it'll be interesting to see where that goes, if Wake Forest keeps the lineup, because I predicted Wake Forest in that upset. That was a big one. So, they're my pick going into this match, because I think they're an underdog here, but that's me.
Absolutely. Well, we'll have to see as we are getting into this match. And I will say really quick, it looks like RPI is down a player, so they will be competing in this series 2v3, which, Wake Forest overall I think is an underdog and a phenomenal pick to keep your eyes on. Maybe not so much an underdog in this matchup here. We are going to see the Vice and the Kai bans coming out.
Okay, the Kai ban makes sense, because that's what Wake Forest was running in their match on the A stream. So it'll be interesting to see how we go about playing around that ban.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what they bring out instead. It is the Mako potentially that they're going to be pulling out here, and I think that is what we saw earlier, so it makes sense, and we know that a lot of these players have got some deep pockets in terms of character pool, so not exactly surprising here with what they're pulling out. Yeah, and here we go. We're starting out onto Night Market. Again, this is a 2v3, so already on the back foot is RPI.
Yep. We saw an amazing first touch barrier go, and then with a rebound, Wake Forest got the rebound to match it up. Now it's just defending that last one, make sure those goals don't open.
Absolutely. I love seeing this Kazan era as a combination here. The duo is just a lot of fun, and they can put a lot of pressure on a goalie that is already a little bit strained. as the Centauro is trying to fight off the offense, and Jumper just going to slip one through in order to give Wake Forest that first goal.
Yep. Goalie's going to be under immense pressure this match for RPI. Not sure if there's much they can do other than play it out. You know, I think if we see one goal from RPI, I think it's going to be good for them. Might be able to flip the momentum a bit.
Yeah, I think momentum is going to be super important, especially on a map like Night Market where speed and momentum are king here. They do find one barrier. The question is, can they find the second? Especially because they have these characters like Zentaro that can get out there and get aggressive from that goalie position. The problem is you don't want to overextend if you're RPI because you don't have that third man to guarantee or protect the goal. Wait a second, Malphite Lover getting aggressive and is able to find that second barrier. The opportunity is open. Zentaro. Oh, they
Zentaro.
They had that opportunity, but they weren't able to finish it off.
Zentaro had an amazing use of eject button there to get that second barrier and then get back to defend it, but the Kazan pressure just became too much.
Yeah, I mean, when we're seeing Kazan, we're just seeing buttons being pressed constantly. So that pressure that we're talking about is just always there if Kazan is in front of you. And with the ability to hook the core if it's flying past, he's able to mix up some of those timings and kind of catch you off guard as well.
Yes. Oh, good core burst coming through. Defensive core burst coming from the Mako to prevent that goal there. And it's a 3v1 right now. This is a rough spot to be in if you're Zentaro.
Yeah, what do you do here? 3v1, you're doing your best. We see Donkey Kong Butt and Jumper just passing it back and forth in front of the goal, and AJ Cannon just has to sit there, be patient, wait for the core to come their way, and unfortunately they weren't able to stop it, so that core does slip through. Wake Forest up a set right now, and Kazan Jumper does get that first pick. Fight or flight, it makes sense. Team player here, I like the pickup as well.
Yep, that team player is going to be really good for that Zentaro, just trying to get it and clear it out of their side when the opportunity presents itself.
Yeah, and overall, yeah, there's not much to say in this 2v3 matchup. Like, it's tough to talk about team play and coordination on the side of RPI when they are just trying to survive in this situation. Obviously doing a phenomenal job, and Malphite Lover will find one on to that era. This is an opportunity for RPI. Bring it down to a 2v2, make it a little bit fair. Unfortunately, AJ Cannon just can't quite stop it, and Donkey Kong is back.
Yep. They put the pressure on right when they lost their player because they knew they had the abilities with Kazan still. And, I mean, it was good effort. But now we got goal open for RPI. I tell you what, Malphite's doing a fantastic job of keeping as much pressure off as they can. But again, we see 2v3.
Yeah, 2v. It's tough, but I love this fight that we're seeing out of RPI. They are not taking this lying down. They are fighting and really working for these goals. They've been getting goal barriers. They've been putting the pressure on. We've even seen kills on the side of RPI as well. It's just tough. You don't have that third man, so you're playing midfield and forward for yourself at the same time. That double goal barrier will be nice. And the opportunity. Oh my.
Opportunity.
There it is. They take it. They got it. Right when Mako was charging up that ability, able to slip it through. Hey, you said it. RPI gets a win. Basically, you know, in our books, if they're able to get a goal, and they've gotten that goal. Not exactly how I thought they were going to do it, but still phenomenal showing here.
Yes, phenomenal fighting spirit out of the RPI team, because they could have very easily just said, you know what, FF, we're gonna take this. Unfortunate, but no, they're out here fighting, they're grinding, and it's paying off right now.
I do want to say, I think this is just kind of like the showing of the Omega Strikers community, where they just love playing the game and showing up and being here for competition, even if they're not at 100%. And I think that is just incredible, and I love the Omega Strikers community for it. They're showing up playing 2v3, even if they're down a player.
Yes, Omega Strikers community has got to be one of the better communities for the competitive play. I personally feel you don't have a lot of the problems that come with other competitive games.
Yeah.
Everything I've seen out of competitors from Twitch chats today has been phenomenal.
Everyone is so kind, so respectful. All GGs, all love, and I love to see it. Again, great defense from AJ Cannon, but again, there's only so much that they can do. Jumper finishes it up and closes out that second set of the game so far. Jumper, again, getting MVP, so does get that first pick. A lot of great options here. A lot of great options for Zentaro as well if they're looking for something like a Twin Drive or a Chrono Boost.
Yeah, definitely.
So we'll go with the extra special. Even extra special as well. Yeah, there's so many great options to grab from.
Yes. Say the arrow going with the Chrono Boost, that's a pretty safe standard choice from my experience.
It will make things a little bit more difficult for that RPI team. If they're getting hit with these arrow primaries, they will just be smaller and debuffed for longer now. Again, the double barrier, another opportunity for RPI here.
Say RPI is getting all the right angles they need to get those doubles to make some form of advantage for themselves.
Extra special coming out into play as well, as AJ Cannon is able to use that special, but unfortunately can't stop the double barriers. Just getting debuffed again like we were talking about, where they can only do so much as that solo Zentaro, and especially when you have no abilities, you just don't have that movement to get over there.
Say Octavia doing really good to keep up their passive there for a bit, but once that fizzles, it's hard to cover the rest of the field.
What I like about the composition for RPI here, and I see what they're going for, it's an all or nothing sort of composition where you have these very fast, very burst movement options, but if you don't get what you're looking for, you're just left dead in the water and you're stalling out. You can't get to where you need to in the core. And so with this composition from Wake Forest, they're able to dribble out, stall it out a little bit if they need to, or use that arrow to catch up to that movement speed that we see from RPI.
First coming out from Zentaro of RPI.
And we see two core flips available, the two bursts available for the side of Wake Forest. They don't even need to use them, but they will. Jumper gets both barriers. Donkey Kong just needs to pass it up to Jumper and let that Kazan finish things up. And great, there it is, the eject button though saves the day once again. Malphite over there to knock it away. AJ Cannon doing such a phenomenal job in that goalie position. But again, getting debuffed, and the pressure from Kazan is too much.
Yeah, you know what they say about pressure creating diamonds. You know, this is a great, fantastic learning experience, I think, for RPI, because they know what they've got in AJ. He's doing a great job right now, despite the 2v3. Doing all that he can to have fun and play the game. But I think this will maybe rile him up for the future.
Absolutely. And as you were saying it, as you're finishing up, we do see Wake Forest finish off that third goal and finish off game number 1. This is still a best of 3, so there is still one more game to be played here. It's just tough, right? In the 2v3 situation, you're doing the best that you can, and you may be playing lights out phenomenally, but you're essentially in that power play for your opponent the entire series, so there really is only so much that they can do. But I do like what I saw. I like the composition out of RPI in terms of that Octavia and Zentaro put together, but again, just keeping up with that third person is so difficult.
Yes, it is. I'll be interested to see if they stick with the same pick for this upcoming game 2. If they just go for that all-out mentality, or if they maybe go something maybe with a little bit more defensibility, like a Dubu or an Atlas.
True. Yeah, a lot of great options here. And like you were talking about it earlier, this is kind of a good learning opportunity. Yes, this is play-ins, so you really do want to win. You don't want to necessarily be forced to go into a match where you're in a 2v3 position, but this is a great opportunity for you to maybe test out some of your other characters and see if they're up to snuff in the CCL league. Yeah, again, some phenomenal replays here. Great movement from the Kazan. I feel like we don't get to see Kazan quite enough, so I do love to see when teams bring it out.
Yes, very unique moveset coming from the Kazan with the hook. I would say almost on the same level as a Feeny with the moveset, just being like, you know, Feeny throws card behind, then it goes forward, and it's a fun pick.
I agree. It's fun pick, and it's fun to watch, too, as a spectator. But here we go into the second game. It will be on Oni Village. You talked about it before. It's going to be a little bit of a slug match, a back and forth, but the Octavia gets banned, so RPI cannot run that same composition, and the Kazan gets banned for Wake Forest, so they'll have to find a different solution as well. That means that the Kai is available, so I am anticipating we'll see a double Kai goalie, considering we've already seen Wake Forest play this Kai, and we know that RPI likes the Kai as well.
Yes, Jumper as Kai in their first match of the day had some phenomenal goals. Just phenomenal plays all around. Had some absolute pinpoint precision Giga Blasts. Did a fantastic job of capitalizing on that, and we'll see more of that here.
Yeah, oh, I'm so sorry. I misspoke. I said 2 Kai goalies. No, it's 2 Kai forwards. I just got that goalie mindset. I'm thinking about goalie instead.
Double right off the bat for RPI.
Yeah, great opportunities. Yeah, it is just wide open range. I really wish we could have seen RPI keep that second barrier up a little bit longer. It would have given them more of an opportunity, because I feel like when it goes to back and forth to these ping pong matches, they just don't win it down a player, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, that is correct, but however, they are doing a fantastic job considering that their goal is open right now.
Yep.
But 2v3, that's what happens.
2v3, and especially when we see the goalie from Wake Forest pulling up and really teleporting into the fray, adding that additional strike into that mess, it makes it so difficult, and you just lose out on that strike war.
Yeah. Vice goalie is one of those ones where it's tough to play against, because they do just teleport in and then they're gone. And it's even harder again in that 2v3. We see a core burst come out.
Something that I do like here that we're seeing out of RPI, and maybe not quite as much from Wake Forest, is the fact that Wake Forest hasn't really been able to hold their 2 barriers. The Vice is good if they want to get aggressive and they want to add a third person into the mix to stop out some of this wall, but the Vice hasn't been doing super in a defensive kind of protect your barrier situation. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're still scoring goals, but something to keep in mind for potentially further matches down along the line.
Yes, definitely. I'd be willing to bet that you'd see this this comp out of Wake Forest in the future. So if you see them in a playoff situation down the road, would very much likely know that maybe that's a potential weak link in the armor.
Yeah, something that you can exploit later on. Oh, but something right now, Malphite Lover is so low, has to be careful. Losing a player here is detrimental normally in a 3v3, but in this 2v3, it is monumental to be down a player. Malphite Lover, though, does a great job playing patient, plays it safe, and the Giga Blast, unfortunately, does not hit the way they wanted to, and gets that second barrier. Core Burst forced. Yeah. Forced out of the goalie for Wake Forest, and oh no! The core goes in right as the gates are opening.
Yes.
Yeah, picks here A lot of options to go for. Spark of Leadership should be one that several eyes are on. The Chrono Boost, I like it for the Kai. Hot Shot. Interesting. They're going to leave Spark actually on the table and instead look, well, I spoke too soon. Instead, look for other options early on. A Recovery Drone is an interesting pick for the Vice for Wake Forest. Maybe they're concerned about potentially getting a little bit too aggressive and falling down to some of these Kai or Zentaro shenanigans.
Yeah, it's definitely a choice. We will see what it plays out for them here. They lose their second barrier.
Just like that, that's already a goal for Wake Forest. Again, it seems like Malphite Lover, AJ Cannon stacking up on each other a little bit too much, not able to spread out and cover their bases, allowing for Donkey Kong to just walk through and score that goal. Great pressure from Wake Forest. Donkey Kong is there to receive from Jumper, and that's the second goal as well. Wake Forest once again up on to set point, but this time this has been so fast. Hasn't really even been that back and forth ping pong that we saw out of set one.
No, it's been really quick. First goal was 11 seconds. I didn't catch the time on the second one, but it was definitely around that same time period, it felt like. Ooh, great defense out of AJ Cannon there to protect that second barrier.
Phenomenal movement. The burst used. Same with the dash from Vice. And again, the pressure is too intense. AJ Cannon just getting stun locked over and over again from these abilities. Can only do so much, especially with the Zentaro. You've only got so many options before you just have nothing left. The burst used again, and once more, Donkey Kong is there to finish it off. That is a hat trick for Donkey Kong in this second set. Yep, of course, they will be getting a first pick for these Awakenings.
I would, normally you see explosive entrants come in on the Zentaro. We'll see what they pick. Spark of Focus. Yep, increased cooldown. Gotta have every ability they can to try and keep that core out of their area. A smart pick on their part.
Yeah, again, I mean, this is what we were talking about before, right? The cooldown of Zentaro really is that limiting factor when you're down a player. So finding something that will allow you to maybe use more of your cooldowns, use more of your abilities, help stuff out some of these attacks is really what you need here. The core is moving, lots of speed on this matchup here. Zentaro doing a great job, does use that ultimate, so won't have that ability for a little bit longer. And again, the teleport from the Vice, that special ability, really causing issues, forcing you to either use your evade or get stunned for a second, and it just really prevents any sort of defensive options that you can throw out.
Yeah. Amazing. I saw it. AJ Cannon had a great dig to prevent the goal for a little bit. Well, once you said with that Vice coming in and with the Vice stun, it's hard. So it's impressive. We do see the core flip come out from AJ to get it out off their side. Malphite's doing a good job at keeping it. Their spacing was better than what we'd seen in some previous sets, and I think that's what helped them in that area.
Absolutely. And really taking some of these 1v1s against Jumper and really kind of fighting back with these Kais, waiting for Jumper to strike so that they can get the advantage here. But it's tough. We've talked about it before, but honestly, even if you get the clear from the side of RPI, you're clearing it straight to a member of Wake Forest who is just going to pass it back up the field to the rest of their team. So you're really struggling here. Great save from AJ Cannon to keep themselves alive just a little bit longer. It is match point for Wake Forest, and there it is. They will finish it out. Donkey Kong with the Blobbo, clearing things out. Wake Forest will be moving on. Tough matchup for RPI, but I really do like what we saw out of them. It's just difficult in a 2v3.
Yeah, I think they did just about everything they could that match. Like I said, I love the fighting spirit out of them. To play through and not forfeit.
Yep.
Good. I liked what I saw out of RPI, but Wake Forest was just dominant because they had that extra player over them.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see more of Wake Forest and hopefully more of RPI in the future when they've got that third man. But yeah, again, great things. Huge shout outs to the RPI team and just playing through even down a player. I love the spirit. I love what we saw out of them, and yeah, I can't wait to see some more. But I don't need to just reminisce about what we saw. We get replays. I get to watch back all of these phenomenal goals and passing team plays from the side of Wake Forest, and also some of those defensive plays that we saw out of RPI. It's tough, right? But we do see some good blocks, some good redirects. It's just oftentimes you're redirecting or clearing it straight to someone else.
Yeah, you know, when I play with my friends, I get yelled at for passing it to the enemy team. But this is a situation where that's the only option you have.
Yeah, there's not much you can do here. So we're taking another look at the bracket here. Auburn moving forward into that seed 16. On the side here, Wake Forest does move on from that loser side against RPI, and they'll be up against Rutgers Red. So we will have that match later. Yeah, and it just looks like we're kind of here on the loser side of things. Winners is just about finished up. That fifth place qualifier seat still open and up for grabs.
Yes, it is. It'll be interesting to see who comes out with that to make it into the playoffs here. Yeah.
But don't go anywhere. We'll have some more Omega Strikers CCL action in just a little bit. I, of course, have been Alexander T. Kresek. This has been Wayward Soul. Thank you all so much for watching. Grab a snack, take a little break. We'll be back with some more matchups right after a short intermission. See you guys soon.